What's up, guys? My name is Tai Zen. Welcome to the cryptocurrency.market channel. This is a trading, investing, and entrepreneurship channel. On this channel, we like to share with our viewers the tools, techniques, and strategies that we use to grow and manage a 7, 8, 9-figure cryptocurrency portfolio, and also our cryptocurrency business. All right. So in this video, guys, I want to talk about why I got rid of the Bitcoin Cash and the Bitcoin SV and dumped it and used that money to get more Bitcoin, to get Ethereum, to get Chainlink, to get Neo, and just a few other coins. All right. So I just want to remind, the reason why I'm making this video is because people have been jumping on my ass, which I really don't give a shit about, but people have been jumping on my ass for the last, I don't know, 2-3 years, since 2017, where our team, were investing and trading Bitcoin Cash, and later on Bitcoin SV also when it came out, and everybody thought we were nuts, we were stupid, and they were saying that, Bitcoin Core is better, and a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists were jumping on my ass. Okay, so I just want to recap what happened, the decisions that I made to get into Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV, and then I want to talk about the things that have changed, the market conditions that have changed, new data that I have that has prompted me to get rid of those coins and then go into Ethereum and go into Bitcoin Core. Okay, so here's the thing. Back when Bitcoin Cash came out, we saw, first of all, our investment thesis, okay, and we give credit to Charles Hoskinson, the creator and founder of Cardano and one of the co-founders of Ethereum, right? And the CEO of the biggest blockchain software company called IOHK. So one of the things that we learned from him was that the value of a coin or the value of a project comes from its community. And the community is made up of the engineers, the crypto influencers like ourselves, the YouTubers, the bloggers, the journalists, the reporters, the hackers, the haters, the trolls, everybody that is involved or touches or uses or talks about that coin is part of that community, right? And one of the things that we learned from Charles Hoskinson is that the value of a coin comes from its community, not from the technology, okay? Because the community can always figure out how to improve the technology, right? So back then in 2017, when the fork happened between Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash, when they split apart, the reason why our team supported, or I wouldn't say supported Bitcoin Cash, I would say that from a trading perspective, okay, let me just time out and pause right here, guys. I want to make sure that you guys understand the difference between a trading mindset versus a philosophical mindset, okay? Or a moral, ethical mindset, okay? If you ask us, hey Tai, what does your team think the coin that's going to still be here 5, 10, 20, 50 years from now, which coin do you, if you had to bet your life on it, which coin do you think is going to be here? Of course, it's undisputed that we're going to say it's Bitcoin Core. Undisputed. We're not even going to argue with that, okay? If you ask us, hey Tai, that's philosophical, okay? If you ask us from a long-term trading and investing perspective, if you say, hey Tai, if I had to just get one coin only, an individual coin, a single coin, and I have to hold it for 10 or 20 years, and I cannot touch it until 10 years later or 20 years later, which coin would it be? Of course, it's undisputed, there's no argue, there's no debate. I would tell you, go get Bitcoin Core, okay? That's from a trading perspective, from a long-term trading perspective, and from a philosophical perspective, yes, go with Bitcoin Core. However, with Bitcoin Cash, when it came out in 2017, we saw that in the short term, and when we say short term, it could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years, okay? There was an opportunity that we believe that Bitcoin Cash can get to a 10x before Bitcoin Core can. So at that time, I think in August of 2017, when Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash split, I think they were around $4,000 or $5,000 for Bitcoin Core, somewhere around there. It hadn't crossed $10,000 yet. And then Bitcoin Cash came out at $300 to $400. And at that time, we said to ourselves, what has a higher probability? Will Bitcoin Core go from, let's just say 5,000 to 50,000 first and do a 10x? Or will Bitcoin Cash go from a $400 and go to $4,000 first? Well, looking back in history, we were right. You know, Bitcoin Cash did go from 400 to 4,000 and did a 10x before Bitcoin Core went from 5,000 to 50,000. Okay, so at that time, our trading and investing thesis is that we can make more money from putting our money into Bitcoin Cash. Okay, the same thing happened in 2019, around the spring or early summer of 2019, when Bitcoin Cash decided to fork into Bitcoin Cash and into Bitcoin SV. We saw the exact same thing. We saw there was a big community behind Bitcoin SV and all these things, right? And then the other thing too is that we noticed that with Bitcoin SV, the guys from Binance and the guys at Kraken exchanges, those are two really huge, big exchanges, and they lobby to delist and to convince all the other exchanges not to list Bitcoin SV. And at first, I did not want to get into Bitcoin SV, but I noticed that after they got delisted from these big exchanges, the price of the coin still stayed above $50. And every piece of bad news that you could possibly imagine about Bitcoin SV, it was available on the market at that time. There was no good news at all about Bitcoin SV, and they still would not go under $50. And for several days, so at that point I said to myself, I said, hey, if all the bad news that you can have for this coin is already out on the market and nobody cares about it and it's still holding at $50, then in my opinion, it can only go up from there. So that's why I started buying up a bunch of Bitcoin SV, right, at near $50, between $50 and $60, somewhere around there. And then it went up to like over $200, to like $400 and something dollars, right? And so I sold a bunch at like the low 200s, like 210, 225, 230, somewhere around there. And I made really good money on that. And so after I made the profit on it, I held on to it. Okay, the same thing, I did the same thing I did with Bitcoin Cash. And what happened was, I decided I was gonna hold on to it, and when the market goes up, I still believe that Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV will still get a 10x from their $400, $500, $300, $400, $500 price point. I still believe that they can do a 10x before Bitcoin Core goes up 10x, right? And that's the reason why I did that. And my goal was to capture that 10x move and then move my money over into Bitcoin Core. So as a trader, I don't get attached to any of these coins. If you ask me, hey, philosophically, what coin do you think is gonna last, or what coin do you think is gonna change the world and things like that? Yeah, I will agree with the Bitcoin maximalists that the Bitcoin Core has a better chance of doing that. Okay, it's no guarantee they'll do it, but it has a better probability of doing that, okay? But from a trading perspective, I'm here to make life-changing profits. I'm not gonna apologize for that. I don't need to make excuses for that. I'm just letting you guys know the mindset that our team has when we're in crypto. We did not take all this risk to go in there to save the climate, to save the glaciers, to save the whales, or any of that nonsense. We are here strictly to make a shitload of money in crypto. That's why we're here to take that risk. Otherwise, we'd be in the stock market or the bond market or the real estate market. We're in crypto where we have lost millions of dollars through hacks, through lost coins, and all kinds of bullshit. We're not here to take all that risk to make 5 or 10%. We're not, okay? And the minute we see a coin that has more profit potential, we're jumping on it. We're not gonna make any excuses for it, okay? So, you know, as long as the coin is not doing anything unethical or doing something that's illegal, okay? So, going back to here. So that was the early reasons why we got into Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. It's always been my mindset that Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV will 10x, will grow 10x long before Bitcoin Core does. And I believe that it's gonna happen so quick that I'll have plenty of time to convert my Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV profits into Bitcoin Core when it happens, right? After all that, I've been sitting on the coins for a couple of years now. Why did I sell it recently? You know, I sold it a few days ago before I made this video, right? The reason why I'm selling it is because next month on November 15th, right, there's going to be another fork of Bitcoin Cash, okay? It's going to split into two coins, one called Bitcoin ABC, right, which is the current software they're using. Okay, let me just rewind, go back a few steps here so that you guys understand what's going on, in case you're not aware of what's happening in Bitcoin Cash. So after Bitcoin SV forked off, right, Bitcoin Cash was there, and the main developer that was in charge of developing the software, or the team that was in charge of it, there's a bunch of people, but I'm just going to use their leader or their representative. Okay, his name is Amaury Sechet or Sechet, or I don't know what name it is. If it's French, German, English, Spanish, I don't know, don't care. Okay, his name is Amaury Sechet or Sechet or whatever. And this guy Amaury, him and his crew and his team are the ones developing the Bitcoin ABC, the Bitcoin Cash ABC. Okay, that's the name of the software, Bitcoin Cash ABC. So that's the one that everyone's using right now. However, they are running out of money. So they decided, hey, instead of raising money for it, this is how we're going to do it. We're just going to tax all the miners. All the miners, we're just going to tax them 8%. And some stupid ass Chinese, right, was the one who first proposed that. And then Amaury and his team went along with it, and they conspired to work on it together to produce this 8% tax. So this tax comes from every time a new block of data is produced and validated in the Bitcoin network, it rewards the miner who produced that block with 6.25 Bitcoins, right? So Amaury and his team wants to take 8% of that newly minted Bitcoin that comes from the Coinbase, right? And go and take it, and then he wants that money, that 8% tax, to go into a special account that he and his team controls, okay? And no one gets to decide where that money goes except for him. And they're gonna use it to pay for the development costs and the engineering costs for like 4 different teams to build the Bitcoin Cash ABC software, okay? So that's my understanding. I could have the detail slightly wrong, but I'm not wrong about the fact that Amaury is building the Bitcoin Cash ABC software to tax the 8% on all the miners, whether they like it or not, okay? So there is a big portion of the community, including myself, who disagrees with that, because the whole time the Bitcoin core maximalists are making derogatory statements, and they're accusing Bitcoin Cash of being centralized and that it's not censorship resistant. And out of nowhere, this dumbass Amaury and this Chinese dumbass, they decided to put an 8% tax on the Bitcoin Cash ABC software, okay? So when this happens, you can no longer argue that the coin or the software or the project is decentralized. You cannot argue. There's no valid argument. You can take all the data, all the evidence you want, okay, into any court of law, or anybody with the half a brain of a fire ant is going to say that that is decentralized. When you arbitrarily just come out of nowhere and impose an 8% tax on the entire community, okay? So because of this, because of that one change in market data, remember, I got into Bitcoin Cash because I believe that it was decentralized, and I believe that it was the best chance of becoming a peer-to-peer electronic cash, okay? The reason why Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Core or any coin that becomes the universal electronic peer-to-peer electronic cash, the reason why it has value is because it's censorship resistant, meaning that no one can censor you for using it. And when you go and impose a tax on everyone, then you can no longer say that it is censorship resistant, okay? So because of that, it has no value. It has no value, okay? And I know that I'm saying this, and there's going to be some, Bitcoin Core trolls and maximalists that's going to take, what I say and use it as sound bites to, attack the Bitcoin Cash project, but I can't help it, because that's the reality. The reality is, if you're able to impose a goddamn tax on the entire community, You cannot stand there and say that it's censorship resistant, right? So no matter how much I like Bitcoin Cash and how much I wanted to hold on to it. Now keep in mind, guys, when I say that I have an investment in Bitcoin Cash, we're not talking about $1,000 or $2,000, $3,000 here, guys. We're talking about a shitload of money. So for me to pull that money out, right, and go put it into Ethereum and Bitcoin Core, right, it's not a small deal. It's not something that I just wake up one day and just make a decision. I mean, this thing has been going on, this bullshit with the miner tax, the 8% miner tax in the Bitcoin Cash ABC software. This has been going on for several months. So it's not something that I wake up to and just change my mind that quick, okay? So I gotta see what's going on, see if things change, but it doesn't look like. At one point, I thought that they were gonna back down, okay? But here's the thing, guys. Even if Amari and his stupid ass team decides to back down and does what the community says, right? The sheer fact, the fact that someone, a major software development team that was working on Bitcoin Cash ABC, the fact that they even had the idea to go in and impose a tax on the community, that lets you know that it's not decentralized. There is nobody that can, there's no data, there's no evidence, there's nothing. After they decided to impose this 8% tax, there's absolutely nothing that you can argue to say that it's decentralized. So to me, it's now a zombie project. Bitcoin Cash is now a dead project. And I'm not saying that because I pulled out all my money out of it and put it into Bitcoin Core and Ethereum and Chainlink and Neo and other coins, okay? I'm not saying because of that, guys. This is just I don't want to say the facts, but that's what's available. That's the evidence and that's the data that is in front of us. So I cannot ignore that data and continue to hold my Bitcoin Cash coins anymore. Okay? So here's the thing. The other thing too is that on November 15th, right, when it forks, what happens if the exchanges decide? Okay, so that from that bullshit 8% mining tax, that is all the proof that you need that the coin is centralized. Okay, let's just say that you say, hey Ty, it's not centralized and all this other stuff, right? And so let's just put that aside for a minute. Let's look at the second reason why I decided to sell all my Bitcoin Cash. Okay, the second reason is on November 15th they're gonna fork. What happens if the major exchanges like Binance, like Kraken, like Coinbase, like Gemini, all these major exchanges, right, decide that they're not going to list Bitcoin Cash ABC anymore, and all my coins are in, and all my money is in Bitcoin Cash ABC, then I'm gonna get, in America we call that, you are fucked. Okay, that means that you are screwed. You are gonna lose your ass. So because of that, I already made a small profit on Bitcoin Cash. I didn't lose money on it, right? I probably could have made more money on it if I put it into other coins, but you know, I did make a small, nice chunk of profits on it, so I'm not bitching or complaining about it, and no regrets about it. But I cannot take the risk of sitting through the hard fork on November 15th, and after the hard fork, if the exchanges decide that hey man, we're not going to list Bitcoin Cash ABC anymore, then I'm going to be screwed. So I'm not going to take that risk. Okay, I have too much money in that. I'm not going to take that risk. So that's why I dumped it and went into Ethereum and Bitcoin Core. Okay, and I don't have a lot of Bitcoin Core, by the way. I just have a small bet size. I needed to put that money somewhere, so I just parked it there until I figure out what altcoins to put it into. Okay, so now that's the two reasons, and those two reasons are good enough for me. So the thesis, the investment thesis, or the trading thesis, or the reasons that I got into Bitcoin Cash, they're no longer there. And not only are they no longer there, but now they're the complete opposite. They're the reasons that I should not be in that coin. So that's the reason why I got out. Now, I want to take the same amount of time to talk about Bitcoin SV. Okay, remember, I got into Bitcoin SV because I believed that it was going to do a 10x before Bitcoin Core. Okay, and then I was going to take the profits from Bitcoin SV and then move it over into a Bitcoin Core. Okay, now here's the thing. So while I'm trying to get rid of this Bitcoin Cash, right, I do a little research, right? Our team does a little research, and there was something that Bitcoin SV did that we did not like, okay? They don't have hardware wallet support, which violates a huge trading rule that we have. We don't fuck with coins that don't have a hardware wallet support, because people have lost so much money because that they're not in a hardware wallet, okay? And we have lost millions of dollars because we didn't have hardware wallets back in 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. So we are what they call gun shy. In English, they call it gun shy. Like we are really scared of touching coins that don't have a hardware wallet support, okay? So we said, hey, our thoughts, our ideas were this. Since Bitcoin SV was airdropped into us, so we kept Bitcoin Cash in the Ledger and Trezor hardware wallets, since they're there, the Bitcoin SV is already in the hardware wallet. So we gotta go through a bunch of bullshit to extract it and stuff like that, you know? And by the way, if you haven't extracted your Bitcoin SV from Bitcoin Cash, I highly recommend you use the Exodus desktop software wallet, okay? Use that. They have a splitter in there that if you send the Bitcoin Cash to it, it automatically detects if it needs to be split, and it splits it into Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV for you. That's the easiest one to do, okay? In full disclosure, our team are big investors in the Exodus software wallet because it's the baddest desktop software wallet on the planet. Okay, that's why our team invested into their stock and their equity. So I'm just fully disclosing that so there's no conflict of interest, okay? They are the best wallet I've seen. So that's why we are comfortable recommending it, and that's why our team invested into their stock, okay? So use that to split your coins. Okay, so, and I highly recommend that you guys do that before November 15th so that you don't get stuck, you know, with these coins, all right? Okay, so here's the deal. We didn't like the fact that Bitcoin SV did not have hardware wallet support. It's sitting in our hardware wallet only because we put the Bitcoin Cash in a hardware wallet, so the Bitcoin SV and the Bitcoin Cash are both in the hardware wallets. However, 6 months go by and Bitcoin SV team has not made a Ledger or a Trezor hardware wallet support. 12 months go by, a year goes by, and now I'm starting to get nervous here because, hey man, you know, I held onto your tokens for a long run because I'm hoping that you guys come out with a hardware wallet support. If you guys are for real, that's the first thing that a coin should do, is focus on safety first, and they should have some type of hardware wallet support, okay? And when you go look for, if you search for Bitcoin SV hardware wallet support, it comes up that you can use the Ledger hardware wallet plus the Electrum wallet. Now Electrum is a good wallet, but I don't recommend it because it's an open source wallet software. So a lot of hackers go in there and take that code and then put viruses in it, and then when you plug it in and use that Electrum, we've had several students lose their entire wallet using the Electrum software because they could not identify whether or not that software was real or not. And we told the students, don't touch it until 3-4 months later. Don't try to split a coin until 3-4 months later. Let all the other people deal with the new bugs and everything. And we had a couple students that did not listen to us, and they used the Electrum wallet on new coins the first day that the coin is available, and they got hacked. Okay, so we cannot recommend using Electrum with the Ledger hardware wallet. We can only recommend using the Ledger or the Trezor with the software that Ledger or Trezor builds or creates, and we only recommend using it with the software that the coin project built. So for example, like Polkadot created their own software for it. We'll use that. Cardano built the Uri wallet for their Cardano token. We'll use that, but we won't use just a random wallet, okay? Now, if it's a wallet that the coin project paid a software company to build for them, then we'll use that also. So we'll use the wallets softwares that is built by Trezor and Ledger. We'll use the wallet softwares that's built by the coin team themselves, and we'll use the software that's built by a company that was hired by these guys. But we won't use an independent third-party software. If that is what we have to do, then we just don't touch that coin altogether. Okay, that's too dangerous, guys. Too dangerous. Okay, so what happens is a year goes by and Bitcoin SV still does not have hardware wallet support. So I'm starting to get nervous here. I don't know if I want to hold on to this coin any longer into the bull market. And then we start looking at the exchange listings, right? And we notice that none of the major exchanges are listing Bitcoin SV. 6 months after they come out onto the market, a year after they come out into the market, and there's still no major exchange listing for Bitcoin SV. Now, when you look down the list on CoinMarketCap and all the exchanges that trade Bitcoin SV, you'll see there's probably like $1 billion worth of trading volume, okay? Now, they can fool some people that have never traded large amounts of cryptocurrency before, but I can look on that list and tell that, hey, you know what? From my experience, these exchanges are bullshit exchanges. These exchanges do not have that kind of volume, okay? And the ones that do trade Bitcoin SV, there's not that much volume on there, okay? So because of that, I decided, hey man, this is too dangerous because I hold a large amount of Bitcoin SV. If this thing goes up 10x, where am I gonna sell it if there's no major exchange listing? And so because of that, I had to dump it because of the lack of hardware wallet support and the lack of exchange listing. So many of you guys have contacted me and asked me, hey, how come Bitcoin SV is not in the Typhoon 30 cryptocurrency market index? And the answer is simple. They don't have hardware wallet support. Even though you can use the Electrum plus a ledger to store the Bitcoin SV, the Electrum was not built. Remember, it has to be built by Trezor or Ledger. And Trezor or Ledger did not build that Electrum software, okay? The other way is that the coin project, the coin team has to build that software. Electrum was not built by the Bitcoin SV team, okay? So we can't touch that. And then the Bitcoin SV team did not pay someone to build that Electrum software for them so that their users can use it. So because of it doesn't meet these 3 computer security criteria that we have, we are not comfortable holding on to it for very long. So at the same time, and it's been over a year, so they can't do that. If they can't get hardware wallet support in a year and at least one major exchange listing in a year, then that's not good enough. So that's the reason. Those are the 2 reasons: lack of hardware wallet support and the lack of exchange listing. It cannot go into our Typhoon 30 cryptocurrency market index because it doesn't meet those 2 major criteria that we need. Okay, so because of that, that's why I dumped all my Bitcoin SV. I made a small profit on it, right? And I made a small profit on Bitcoin Cash. And now that the market, conditions have changed, I have to change. I have to adapt my portfolio. Remember this, guys, do not get emotional about these coins. We're here to make life-changing profits. We're not here to get emotionally attached to these coins. If the thesis and the reasons, okay, we got into that coin are no longer existent or they have changed, then we as a trader or an investor have to change. Our portfolio takes first priority over everything. Our portfolio is what feeds us, it's what feeds our families, okay? So it takes priority. We cannot be attached to that one coin or that single coin or those 2 coins and let it hurt our entire portfolio and our chances to retire early and live a good life, okay? So I hope that this video helps explain to you guys the reasons why we got into Bitcoin Cash and why we got into Bitcoin SV, and then as the market conditions change, how we looked at the new data and how we adapted and changed according to it. Now, the Bitcoin maximalists, when they hear this, it's gonna tickle them to death. It's gonna tickle them, okay? For me to sit here on camera and admit that I have to dump Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV and that's not gonna work, right? And they're gonna get tickled by that. Okay, and it's fine. I'm a trader. There's lots of trades that I've gotten into that they just, matter of fact, most of all the trades I've gotten into, the Bitcoin maximalists all disagree with it, but I've made a shitload of money from it, okay? So it doesn't matter, right? Now, I will say this, I don't name too many names in the videos, okay? But I will name this, and I know, it's not gonna bother him, right? I wanna bring up the name Mark DeMessel, okay? He's one of my, he's a crypto influencer, one of my colleagues, and he's a trader that I respect. Made an excellent trade on Tesla. Good job on that, Mark. Shout out to him for loading up and use margin at the right time on a good trade, good fundamentals, everything. The only thing that I disagree with him was on the entry, okay? So he still jumps on my ass, about the entry on Tesla. I have to disagree with him, It doesn't matter how good something is. If it doesn't meet my trading criteria, I'm not getting into it. Doesn't matter how good it is, okay? So I have the money. I can deploy that money anywhere, and it's got to meet my trading criteria before I put my money into it. No matter how much I like it, if it's missing one or two critical pieces of data or criteria, then I'm not going to get into it, no matter how good I think of that coin or that stock, okay? But good job to Mark DeMesso on that, okay? Now, I'm bringing up Mark DeMesso's name here because, he's a big Bitcoin Cash proponent like I was. We both got into it, same time. We both have the same feelings about it. We both don't like the fact that Bitcoin Core got hijacked and it's no longer a peer-to-peer electronic cash. Both Mark DeMesso and I, we strongly believe that having a electronic peer-to-peer electronic cash that is censorship resistant, that's permissionless, that's accessible to everybody in the world is a game changer in the world of finances. So that's the reason, and that's from a philosophical perspective, that was a reason why he and I both have the same views about Bitcoin Cash, because Bitcoin Core has won the store of value use case. Okay, so there's no coins out there that is going to beat Bitcoin Core when it comes to being a store of value or digital gold. But when it comes to electronic peer-to-peer cash, no one has won that yet. And Mark DeMesso and I was hoping that Bitcoin Cash would win that use case, okay? So, however, the market conditions have changed, just like I said, but Mark DeMesso did not, in my opinion, he put up like $200,000 something to help fund the project so that Bitcoin Cash, so they can help build the team that's building the Bitcoin Cash. I think it's called BCN software. It's the opposite software to the Bitcoin Cash ABC software. Okay, so that one right there, I disagree with that trade or that investment move that Mark DeMesso did, because once we find out that the coin is losing money, the fundamentals are no longer there, right? The technicals can change. Like if the fundamentals are still there, the reasons are still good, and the coin drops in price, I will still buy into it. That's the reason why I bought Tezos for like over a year. I kept buying and buying and buying Tezos, even though the price was falling. I still buy. And even today, if it falls below $1.50, I'll buy some more, because the fundamentals have not changed. It's only gotten better. Okay, the technicals is just short term. The fundamentals are long term, and I believe that was a mistake for Mark DeMesso, right? To add more money to Bitcoin Cash when the fundamentals are no longer the same. I think that to me was a bad trade. I would not do that, and no one on my team would do that. When the fundamentals completely change, it's drastically the opposite of why we got into it, right? Then we cannot put money into it no more. And I don't recommend that you guys do that whenever the reasons have changed completely, 180 degrees, okay? So, maybe the 200, obviously the 200,000 that he put into to help with the Bitcoin Cash software development, I know that's just a small bet size for Mark, right? He's managing a multi-million-dollar portfolio also. So that's one of the reasons why, I monitor what he's doing and keeping track of what he's doing. You guys gotta realize this, okay? Even though I consider that one bad trade for Mark DeMesso, keep in mind this, guys. The reason why, and maybe I haven't made this clear on video before, but I'll take the opportunity to say it now while I'm talking about his Bitcoin Cash trade. There's not too many people in the cryptocurrency market, guys. You guys might see a bunch of YouTubers and shit, but there's not too many guys that are managing a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio in the cryptocurrency space, okay? And definitely not a YouTuber, but Mark is one of them, okay? I've talked to him on many occasions, and he's been here from the beginning, right? So I know that he's doing that. That's why I pay attention to that, right? And that's very important, guys, that when you guys are learning how to make life-changing profits, that you pay attention to the people that are actually doing it in the real world and not just talking about it, right? If you guys want to learn more about how our team manages, how we grow a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio and how we manage it, I highly recommend that you guys go to www.cryptocurrency.market/blueprint and get a copy of our cryptocurrency investing blueprint. In that cryptocurrency investing blueprint, we share with you everything that we have ever done to get us to where we're at today. Remember guys, I came from Vietnam as a Vietnamese refugee, came to America, was dirt poor, grew up in the ghettos, right? Hung around the wrong people, got involved with drugs, went to prison for nearly 14 years, and I came out in my mid-30s, learned how to trade, got into crypto, and was able to retire by the time I was in my mid-40s. So it took about 11 years, right? So if you guys want to learn how I did that, go get a copy of the cryptocurrency investing blueprint right now. Make sure you guys follow Mark DeMessel. He and I, there's certain coins that he and I, disagree with, but then there's certain coins that he and I agree with, okay? And then there's the coins, the coin selection, I really don't care. It's the mindset, guys. The mindset that he has in making life-changing profits is definitely similar to what we do. And that's the reason why I pay attention to him, right? You guys don't see me follow too many people, right? You guys don't see me follow too many traders online. If you guys look at my Twitter followers, I follow all the coin projects. I don't follow any traders. I already know how to trade. It's like, why would I follow somebody to learn how to speak English when I already know how to speak English? Okay, it's the same way, okay? I respect what he's doing, and it's unfortunate that, someone like Mark, who's managing a multi-7-figure portfolio, right, does not have a lot of followers. But if the people I know who follow our channel and the ones who follow his channel, they should be doing financially well because they're actually following people that's actually doing it out in the real world, okay? Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope this video helps you guys out. Go, and guys, Mark DeMessel is my friend, so don't be running back and forth and, trying to start some shit between me and him, I like to share what I think of his views, and he shares with me some of the trades that I've made that he disagrees with, so it's not a big deal for me and him. It's not like bad blood or some shit. We just share our thoughts on what each other's doing, so we can learn from it. We're not here to sit there and make each other look bad. Okay, so I'm just sharing my views of what I thought I don't think that's a good idea to add to a losing trade. Okay, so thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in a future video. Make sure that you use a hardware wallet like Ledger and Trezor. Do not keep your coins on the exchange. The number one reason that we have seen that causes people to lose in crypto is because they lose their tokens. Okay, do not keep your coins on the exchange. Keep it in a hardware wallet. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you guys in a future video.